TV brings the world of motorsports into your home with over 100 live race series such as MotoGP, IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, Extreme E, World Superbike, and the newly launched all-electric E1 series. From 2 wheels to 4, from land to sea, your destination is Rev TV.
For the first time in 2026, it's my pleasure to welcome you back to Green Flag TV for the premier Sim Racing Winter Series here live from the Phoenix Rally Cross Course. Welcome everyone, I am Derrick Watson, sitting next to Sheldon Atkins with Dustin Ollis, pushing the buttons, making us look and sound good down in the production booth. And Sheldon, as we continue this winter series of fun and free content, we find ourselves using the brand new cross cars at the Phoenix Rallycross.
Yeah, definitely excited. This is actually my first opportunity getting to cover the cross cars. Haven't even sat down and turned a lap in one yet, so not 100% positive what they entail, but they look like a lot of fun watching these guys rip laps around here, and I'm expecting a good deal of chaos myself. I don't know about you.
I think that chaos word is a great word to use here, Sheldon. So we've seen some practice happen already. We're right now just about a minute into qualifying, and we're going to get things started and have some fun here. So I want to say right now, first off, if you're watching this broadcast, here are the points, Sheldon. Why don't you walk us through those?
Yeah, right now we got Elliott White up at the top, just by 2 points over Mark Kalin in second. Bradley Holly hanging on to third right now with a 5-point swing between him and second place. Pretty tight here throughout the top 5 as we're looking at it right now.
Yeah, look at that. And it's pretty tight all the way down. I mean, 6th and 7th is 78 and 77 points. A tie right now for 8th and 9th with Evans and Walter. And then Richard Regan, your 2025 year-long champion, back in P10. Still 2 races to go. Who knows what may happen here as we get involved here with Premier Sim Racing in the Winter Series. Now, I want to say first off, thank you to Premier Sim Racing. You know, you can stay connected with Premier Sim Racing by scanning the QR code on your screen to follow along on social media and join their official Discord. You can get updates about when registration for the next season opens. You can see incredible screenshots, be involved in the community, and so much more. So again, scan that code on your screen to get in to the Discord for Premier Sim Racing. Yeah, you know what? While we're sitting here as well, let's go ahead and say a hello as well to Mr. Hedge. You know, sim racing is full of unforgettable moments, and Mr. Hedge iRacing Photography helps you capture them all. From your first wins to your fresh liveries, even those crashes you'll never forget, Mr. Hedge turns virtual racing into memories worth sharing. They're clean, they're sharp, and they're made for sim racers. Visit mrhedge.co.uk to get your best moments in focus. We have some cool shots. Maybe we'll get to look at them later, Sheldon. Last time we were at the Bristol Motor Speedway with the mini stock cars back in December for our last broadcast for the Winter Series, and that was quite the battle to see here. But I think battle's going to be the word all night long. Sheldon, why don't you go and walk us through the grid for our first heat race here at the Phoenix Rallycross?
Absolutely, as we get the numbers up here. And starting up on the pole is going to be Bradley Holly with Richard Regan Jr. to the outside in second. B3 is going to be Nick Hunter with Brandon Walter to the outside in fourth. Right off the grid, fifth place is going to be Nicholas Godino with Jacob Dunn in the 3 machine in sixth. And that's it. 6-car field, pretty stout here, but definitely excited to see what these guys get underway.
All right, what's exciting here? It's going to be a standing start, and green flag is in the air here at the Rallycross. First up we go, and there's Elliott White. He is taking off here, and that's how we start every cross car and every Rallycross race here tonight on the broadcast.
Everybody making it through turn 1 nice and clean here. Tidy corners for the field.
So up top on your screen, Sheldon, let's keep in mind, everyone needs to do a joker lap. That's what I think that car back there was trying to do. And maybe it may be done disrect. And so they had to do a joker lap. That 0 on the top left of your leaderboards, that will turn 1 when they completed that joker lap. You're only 6 laps on the board, Sheldon. This is going to go quick.
Absolutely, and making quick work of the field right now, Richard Regan in the 56 machine trying to walk away from Nicholas Godina. And, kind of business as usual for Richard. I've known him for a long time, and you pretty much put him into anything with wheels here on the sim, and he finds some kind of a way to get up to the top. As we get a look at the replay here of the earlier incident.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. Sorry for doing that. There's the first wreck. Oh, boy. Big hit right there. You see it through the net of the car, and that's the wreck we saw in the very back of the field. That was Jacob Dunn. Here's Brandon Walter. There's that joker lap we talked about. It is a shortcut through the track. So unlike some other joker laps in the sim, Sheldon, where the joker lap's kind of longer, this one will be a little quicker for you.
You see Walter making quick work here. Richard Regan Jr. laying down the fastest lap, though, 40.6. As we look at the battle right now between Walter and Holly.
Good battle going on right now. Remember, we are in lap 3 of 6. These heats are going to go fast here. Only a certain number of cars advance as that car got airborne up and down the hill. And having a good run here. This is Brandon Walter we're on board with here. In fact, I did see his name on the bottom left of your screen. And something unique about these cross cars in this track, Sheldon, the low speeds, right there about 60, and there maybe 65 or 70. It doesn't take much to peak the tachometer in these cars.
No, not at all. But that's also showing you how much grip these cross cars have, too. These guys carrying, such great speeds. As we look right now, metric down to 40 miles an hour. Really the only corner these guys are really having to roll out of the throttle and brake too much for. These lightweight cars just rip here around this Phoenix Speedway.
That's back to the lead. That's Richard Regan. He's under attack from Bradley Holly. And Bradley Holly, it's a common battle we see all year long in Premier Sim Racing. And Holly and Regan. Remember, these cars not painted the way we see them normally in PSR. The league has opted, since these are mystery cars until the day of the race, Sheldon, no paints allowed, only hours and default paints on these vehicles, as Bradley Holly just set the fastest lap of the race so far.
Bradley Holly absolutely cooking right now. You see him cut down to the bottom here, trying to get a look to the inside of Regan. Regan trying to hold defensive, though. Slides low wide here through the S's. Here comes Holly with a peek around the outside, now trying to build a momentum to get to the door. And a great jump for Holly there. Almost bends it off the back of Regan, though.
I thought for sure Holly was just going to land on him. I thought they were rolling side by side through this corner. Big sweeping right-hander. Holly has the inside landing. He'll now take the advantage here. He'll be almost side by side with Richard Regan. White flag one more time. Both drivers have taken their joker lap. It's pure racing to the finish.
Holly setting it deep down here, and here comes Regan trying to peek on the outside, but gets a little crossed up. Holly gets through the corner nice and clean now through the S's here for the final time. And Holly trying to walk away with the advantage to close it out.
Oh, there's a big jump from Holly and Regan. And now Holly's up in the lead. Look at that, only 0.2 of a second, quarter of a second at most. And both are sliding that car around. You see Regan there kind of tranking that wheel, trying to keep grip in the car. You saw the gear shift happen right there. Regan's trying everything he can, Sheldon, but I don't think there's enough time. And I think Bradley Holly is going to win the first heat.
What a battle these two here had in the closing laps. We see Nicholas Godina roll across the stripe here to take over third. And looks like we're going to have to follow concussion protocol here because your leaders have hit the wall pretty hard.
So let's do our results pretty fast here as we're going to get right into our next heat. Here it is. Your top three advanced: Bradley Holly, Richard Regan, Nicholas Godina. Behind them, Walter, Hunter, and Dunn. They'll head off to your LCQ. With that, heat number 2 is underway. Let's go through the field. Elliott White is in the first place car. He is the one car. He's next to Matt Gagnon in that black and red machine. Then you'll have third and fourth. Then it's Mark Kalin and Nicholas Acosta. And then P5, P6, James Morgan and Robert Barney. That 6-car grid. Here we are, ready to go. Green flag, Sheldon. Take it away.
And we're underway. Before I can even get ready to take it away, but leading us into turn 1 here, it's going to be Elliott White trying to hold off Matt Gagnon. Elliott White getting through the first couple of corners nice and tidy. Good, clean start for the entirety of the field here. A little bit of a wiggle there mid-pack, but everybody straightening it back out. And we're clean through the S's.
Clean through the S's so far, up through the first lap. Big jump in the air. And that front car, that yellow car sort of got nose down first. And that was a big hit. That was Mark Kalin. I'm sure maybe he just got on the brake a little too soon there, Sheldon, but that car was pointed nose first.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be so careful with the transitions here. Elevation changes in these bumps. Right on board with Kalin here, and it just wasn't lined up. Didn't have the wheel straight. About loops it, but maybe those little wings on the back of it kept him angled the right direction.
There we go. Martin on board with Nicholas Acosta, one of the members of Tabula Rasa Esports, and then that black and orange. And here's the Joker lap. There it is. You make that left-hander before the jump. You see the big Joker sign up ahead. And let's watch this Joker lap. A little bit of left-hand turn, kind of a nice little tunnel right there. Off to the right. It's all pavement here, Sheldon, on the Joker lap.
Yeah, that just allows you to have a nice launch here down this home straightaway. Gives you the opportunity to close up a lot of time, but not the exit that Acosta was looking for there. He seemed to lose a little bit of time to the cars in front of him. So look back at Mark Kalin now, trying to get out of LCQ territories. He takes a dive down to the inside of James Morgan's here. And using all of the racing surface, and around goes James Morgan's. Big mistake there for the 12 machine.
Big mistake for Morgan, likely. Go, sorry. Morgan ahead with the LCQs. Here's what happened to him. Watch here. Just got way wide. I don't know if he even hit the wall, Sheldon. He just got that thing a little loose, maybe?
Yeah, just sent a little too deep into the corner there, and it looks like the back end of the front end crossed around and just a little bit of snap oversteer there.
All right, we're back to live racing action. Here's Elliott White. He started up front. He's still up front. He's got Robert Barney behind him by about 1.4 seconds. Barney on board now. You see the blue gloves sliding it through the corners, trying to make something happen. And right there's a nice onboard shot from the wheel axle down there, Sheldon. And these wheels move all night long. These are very suspension-heavy tracks. There's a lot of movement in these cars.
And all that movement just allows these guys to have opportunities to make pretty big mistakes too. So you really want to keep an eye on that. Those changes in dynamics of the chassis can really set for some dicey moments, as we've already seen a couple times here just in the heats. So right on board with Barney, really good through that section there. Closes a little bit of time for the race leader, Elliott White. Is he going to have enough in the tank to make a last couple laps charge like we saw in the last heat?
Morgan spun again in the back of the field, so he's definitely now headed to the LCQ. But up front, Robert Barney still got about the same amount of gap here. Elliott White, in other sports, we call it banner to banner, wire to wire. I guess in the form of racing, Sheldon, we call it flag to flag, as Elliott White is walking away. And here's James Morgan. What happened to him? He's got to drive away. Just got to spin here. But a pretty impressive run, for Elliott White.
Oh, yeah, so far so good, but we see Barney way better through the jump section of the track. Each lap, he's closing that time. He's just struggling a little bit in that last quarter. Maybe sending it a little too deep in there and choking down the exit, but pulls off 0.2 of a second there.
Can he make it happen? Checkered flag will not make it happen. Elliott White is going to pull ahead here of Robert Barney and others. All right, so there it is. That's going to be your finishing order here. And I think we're going to wait for the result to come up here in just a second and see how they line up here. All right, the last couple cars coming around. James Morgan will be the last here. So next up, I'm waiting to see the format here, see if we're going to have another heat. I believe we are. Just kind of waiting for the race officials to give us the official word. So we're waiting to see what may happen here. Let's go through the results real quick, Sheldon. It's Elliott White first, Robert Barney, Matt Gagnon, Acosta, Kalin, and James Morgan in your top 6. All right, is there another one? There is. So for our third heat, let's quickly run through the grid. We're going to welcome in a new commentator here first, here on Green Flag TV. Jeff Evans is first, Thomas Sink is second. Then it's going to be Ted Lowedick in P3 with Zachary Burt in P4. and then Steve Loving and Reese Bogue, P5 and P6. We're also going to welcome in a brand new commentator to Green Flag TV, Jacob Kohler. Jacob's your first time on the stream, first time doing it here. Very unique car track combo as we go green here at the Phoenix Rallycross.
Absolutely excited to be here. Let's get this thing underway.
Get ready here. Wait for the green lights to turn on. They're going to in just a second here. They're a little more delayed than the second heat, so they kind of caught me off guard a little bit here. And right now, we're going to go. And there may have been a jump start, Jacob. We'll take a look at in a second. But here they go, away from the line.
Yep, looks like that pink. Yeah. Oh, we got one in the wall. One in the wall, rapidly dropping through the field as they come back in through the corner. Man. We got two side by side at the back. Looks like the white car up there is in the lead. That's Thomas Sink. And then we've got three already taking the Joker laps. That's Thomas Sink, Jeff Evans, and Zachary Burnt. Then we've got three more that are going to come out towards the start-finish line. Looks like it's going to be close, but I think Jeff Evans is going to be just barely ahead as they come out of that corner. It's looking good for everybody so far. Still relatively close. Looking like it's going to be a fun time.
Yep. Good time so far. Remember, that Joker lap is faster, Jacob. It has all pavement, so no dirt to deal with. So everyone who took the Joker lap will be ahead for the moment. We'll see how it all transitions out. Remember, up in the top of your screen, those ones indicate the Joker lap is taken. By the way, two penalties in this heat. Jeff Evans and Steve Loving both currently showing black flags. We'll see what happens with those. So right now, Evans is falling down the field with a black flag.
Yeah, those penalties are going to probably be subtracted from the post-race time. So just because you see where somebody finishes on the scoreboard, that does not necessarily mean that's where they will be counted. So don't take anything for granted as they cross the start-finish line one more time. We will begin lap 3, and Thomas Sink takes the lead from Reese Bougie. And they are going to go down the back straightaway. Is he going to try and fight back here down the inside? He's not going to have the momentum. Wheels leave the ground, and he's going to go wide on the outside. That's going to let Jeff Evans have an opportunity to take it in. And then we got one guy still left with his Joker lap. That's Ted Lowendick back there. And we'll see if that maybe is able to catapult him into the top 3 as they cut through this turn again. Those hind legs, got to keep him from outrunning your front. Otherwise, you will lose time on that high side of the track.
Definitely will lose time here. So right now, top 3 advanced. Thomas Sink, Reese Bogue, and Jeff Evans right now are in the spot. Evans, I think, is in question, though. Lowendick may be the advancer, depending upon that penalty and what happens there. Already working lap 4 of 6. Happy here with us on Green Flag TV. Derrick Watson, Jacob Kohler is in the booth, and then Sheldon Atkins is going to sit one out, but he'll be back with us in a moment here. So remember, Jacob, 3 advance, then everyone else back to the LCQ for one more shot to make the heat.
Yep, it's going to be a great time indeed. We've got a really, really nice battle for the lead here. Reese Bogue is trying. He goes down the inside, almost makes contact, and now Thomas Sink is wide. Reese Bogue takes the lead here on lap 4, and he's got Jeff Evans right up the tailpipe. Remember, Ted Lowendick still has yet to take that Joker lap. If he is able to make enough time with these guys fighting up here, he could potentially use that Joker lap to hot all 3 of them. It's a long shot, but it is a possibility as they go back down the back straightaway.
Making this big right-hander going to go through to pavement. This is where they'll find that jump in just a moment after they're making a little bit of S curves here. There's the dirt transition. Remember, these cross cars, by the way, brand new to iRacing with this season update. These cars are meant for this kind of racing, Jacob. They're meant to move from dirt to pavement. So these cars are right at home, even if the drivers aren't.
Absolutely. And oh wait, we got one. Oh, hard contact. That's Ted Lowendick. Jeff Evans, Steve Loving is in it as well. He got turned sideways, stopped in the middle of the corner, and nobody could avoid him. That's going to put Zachary Burnt up into 3rd place potentially, while Reese Bogue and Thomas Sink continue to fight for the lead. But you're absolutely correct. These cars were meant for off-roading. They're constructed with that super low center of gravity that just allows them to get as sideways as you want and still be able to hang on to it. But it is definitely not the soft man's car as they come through the S's for the final time. Reese Bogue still has
big here.
Oh yeah, that was big.
Here's the replay of that wreck, by the way.
Yep.
Oh,
just
man.
Nowhere to go. That is so unfortunate for Ted. But it looks like he will maintain his top 3 position there. And it looks like he is going to be advancing to the next round. And then Zachary Burnt, Steve Loving, and Jeff Evans, barring anything crazy, will have to go to the LCQ.
All right, that is heat number 3. Thanks for Jacob Calder for stepping in. We may pull him back into broadcast before this is over and see how it does. In fact, Jacob, don't walk away just yet. We're going to let you do the results here as soon as they pop up when everyone's done here. So let's wait for the results screen to pop up here in a moment. Someone spinning around just for fun. I think that's just for funsies, I think.
Yeah, he's having a good time. So here's the results of Heat 3. Reese Bogue wins it. Thomas Sink coming in second. Ted Lowendick in third. Zachary Burnt in fourth. Jeff Evans in fifth. And then bringing up the rear is Steve Loving. Remember, those bottom 3 go to the LCQ, and the top 3 will advance to the next round.
All right. So we're going out of the B main. This one's a little longer, guys. This is going to be 10 minutes or 10 laps. So 10 laps as it will be. Joker laps still required. And from the B main, it is going to see some more advancements. It's Brandon Walter in P1, Nicholas Acosta in P2. Coming back through the field after that, we'll see some more cars. We'll see Zachary Burton, Nick Hunter, 3rd and 4th. Mark Kalen's Jeff Evans, P5, P6. Just saw Evans in last heat. Jacob Dunn, James Morgan, 7th and 8th, his teammates. And Steve Loving's P9. Screen flags just hit the air here. And Sheldon, here we go. 10 laps around the Phoenix Rallycross.
Yeah, with a much larger field here than what we've seen so far. Everybody working through 1 and 2 fairly clean. A little bit of a checkup there in 3rd place from Mark Kalen. But he's going to get right up to the back bumper of the 28 machine of Zachary Burnt, working through the S's, taking a peek now to the outside as we see a couple cars go off for the Joker lap, led by Brandon Walter and Nicholas Acosta.
That is Jacob Dunn with a half spin right there, and on around he goes. Right now it's already Walter, Evans, and Loving, and Nicholas Acosta spinning around. You're right. You got that before I did. And so right now it's Talbot Rossi Esports between Dunn and Acosta having a bad run here.
And that is a costly start for Nicholas Acosta there. Going to lose a whole bunch of time as he focused back up at the front, diving down to the bottom. Here comes Jeff Evans trying to take a peek to the inside of Brandon Walter. Walter going to hang tight through the S's as we look at what happened to Dunn here. And just struggling through the S's there for the 3 machine. And Acosta here.
Acosta.
Too deep.
That right front tire was off the ground. All right, well, back to the Rive Racing action. Already working lap 2 of 10. You see a couple drivers already taking that Joker lap on that way outside and trying to get that over with. But right now, it's Evans, Loving, and Walter. And what a difference it is, Sheldon, for Jeff Evans. Went from a black flag and being wrecked out of the last race to right now, at least currently winning the B main.
And he's doing so with convincing fashion, too. Starting to walk away to a near second advantage as we work into the S's here. Steve Loving doing everything he can to try and reel that machine back in, though. You know, what I'm surprised by is I was expecting at least one massive wreck by now going up into the ramp, and I just haven't seen it yet. I'm kind of disappointed.
Well, I think the night's still young, and I think as we get closer and closer to the finish, more people will get aggressive up at that hill. It could be a tight battle for the finish. Riding on board with Nick Hunter here. He had a pretty bad wreck in the first heat of the night, so he wants to now see if he can qualify here, Sheldon, see what he can make happen, and see if he can make it into the main.
He's definitely sitting in decent position right now. So everybody starting to spread out here through the S's. Mark Kalen going to go for the Joker lap now. And it's just jarring how fast that Joker lap is compared to the standard with all that extra grip from the asphalt as we get a good view of it here with Kalen. And just foot pretty much all the way to the floor.
Probably worth noting, by the way, Sheldon, 7 drivers advance out of this B main. Only the bottom 2 will get to be spectators for the main race. So right now that would be Acosta and Morgan. That's what I saw in the rules from iRacing. 7 advance is what I saw earlier, unless something has changed. So we'll watch that and see what happens here. And by the way, that netting we saw on that onboard camera a second ago, Sheldon, that was a big topic amongst the drivers, of course, and iRacing. You can hide obstructions. So you can kind of not have that netting in front of you. There was a kind of a topic of debate earlier about whether or not you should be allowed to turn it off.
Oh, I mean, people have been arguing about that, too, with the Formula cars and Indy cars for years. But, there's been no big changes to get rid of it, so... Honestly, I feel like...
when I drove this car, actually.
I feel like giving drivers no option when it comes to driving potentially blind in some regards is probably not a good idea. We wreck enough on here when we can see what we're doing, let alone when we got something in front of us.
Speaking of almost wrecking, that almost happened right there in front of Jeff Evans. Evans currently running P2. Mark Kalen has gotten on around him and is trying to have a good time. And tell you what is important about that jump, I know you mentioned earlier about maybe seeing some wrecks up that jump. The other thing that could happen here, potentially, Sheldon, surprised it happened, is someone takes that jump a little unevenly, and that whole science class about what goes up must come down, that could hurt somebody later in this race.
No, absolutely. I will say, though, what's been surprising to me here is that that three machine of Jacob Dunn, I mean, I don't think you could have had a worse start to the night in any capacity here, but hanging on to that bubble spot here to make it into the big show. I mean, it's just impressive that the luck is starting to work into the favor of that three machine.
All right, yep, and having a good run here is these cars up and down again here, and right now we're on lap 7 of 10 in the B main. Happy here with us for Premier Sim Racing. And right now, everything seems to be, I don't want to use the word calm, Sheldon. I think that is the ultimate commentator jinx tonight. But it seems kind of calm on the track.
Oh, it's very calm. Super calm, even. I'm not trying to jinx us one bit, I promise you.
Not me either. I'm just saying, compared to other races, I mean, things kind of seem stretched out. And there's some good gaps here. And it seems like maybe everyone's just kind of in line. With 7 out of 9 advancing, I think there's no need to be super aggressive unless you are one of those 9. By the way, speaking of those 9, Nicholas Acosta is back in P9, but a couple laps ago, he set the fastest lap of the night, or at least in this heat, I should say. So he's trying, but I think it may be too little too late.
Yeah, it's going to be real difficult for Acosta to be able to find his way up to the front. I mean, even though our scoring's showing it. So we have gotten word that Nicholas Acosta has thrown in the towel and put it behind the pit wall here.
So that Jacob Dunn car we saw a second ago on board right there, that is your transfer spot, by the way. It's his teammate, James
we got one around here in the
him.
S's.
That's going to help both teammates. That's Brandon Walter. If everyone gets around here, which I think they did, that now puts both Tabit Arasa cars in and puts Brandon Walter out. Can he make up the time here with a lap and a half to go?
That's a lot of time to gain. 2 seconds with just a lap and a half. I mean, he's going to need a big mistake out of Jacob Dunn. And, you know, Jacob Dunn made a bunch of mistakes at the start of the races tonight, but he's it's been pretty clean and precise here since his last big spin.
All right, that's it. And James Morgan took his Joker lap. So that is everybody who needed to take one has now done it. Jeff Evans has now claimed the fastest lap of this heat. By the way, final lap, white flag in the air from Barney the Flagman. Here comes a pass, possibly to the inside. There's a car loose up front, and this is a great side-by-side battle on the white flag lap.
Oh, and Dunn having struggles a little bit further in the back. Brandon Walter up to the back bumper here, coming into the jump. Walter.
This is the leaders on the bottom of your screen. They cross the line. That's a victory for Mark Kalin. He'll beat Jeff Evans. Both advance. This battle in the back is a 4-car battle. This could help decide who makes the main feature.
Contact in the final curve. Brandon Walter sends Jacob Dunn wide, coming to the stripe. Walter with the nose right now. Brandon Walter is going to make it in.
Jacob Dunn missed in the last minute here. Sheldon, wow, that was an incredible heat. Let's wait and see the results, and let's walk through them real quick.
And bringing home P1 for the B mains will be Mark Kalin over Jeff Evans in second. Third going to Steve Loving with Nick Hunter in fourth. Fifth place going to James Morgan. Sixth going to Zachary Burnt. Rounding out for the cars making it in is going to be Brandon Walter finishing off on the bubble spot with Jacob Dunn just barely missing out. And Nicholas Acosta with an early tow going to finish it out P9.
All right, well, guys, we now have a moment to breathe. A 5-minute warm-up period is built into the session. So let's welcome back in our newest commentator, Jacob Kohler. We're going to try to 3-man booth this final race. And so, Jacob, what's your thoughts so far? It's your first time seeing these cars likely within iRacing. What's your first impression?
I love it. It's been absolute chaos. The jumps, the curves, the Joker laps, it's all great. Me and my dad used to race these kind of cars back home. Not the exact same kind. We called them sprint cars where I was from, but, you know, it just takes me back to when I was a kid and we would spend all weekend up at the track, and it has been nothing short of an absolute blast. It's great to be here.
So, Sheldon, we've seen a few different heat races so far. Has anyone really stood out to you so far? Anyone you think is the favorite, so to speak, to win this thing?
I got to go with that one machine at Elliott White. He was so fast in his heats. And, I mean, anybody can go toe-to-toe with Richard Regan like that. I've known Richard for a long time on here. I got a good feeling about him getting it done tonight. I don't know about you.
I think that's probably a great pick. The only driver who really kind of went wire to wire for the most part, as far as leading a lot of other heats we saw, up and down the grids for people. Jeff Evans stood out to me. He had really a tale of two stories. Jacob, he went from, again, being wrecked out of his heat to just really almost dominating his LCQ.
Yeah, it can definitely be a testament to just how volatile motorsports can be. Sometimes it really does just depend. That's why the phrase "any given Sunday" exists.
Yeah, it's a great phrase. Sometimes people apply it to American football, but I think it also probably exists here as well. So we're in a 5-minute warm-up period. All the drivers get 5 minutes to go out on track and kind of get the feel for this again. And it's maybe, Sheldon, you're better at talking about this than I am. Dirt's not my specialty by any means. So there's also a matter of how this dirt is moving around this track in the rallycross portion, because those grooves and those bankings can matter a little bit.
Well, the corner where I see the biggest change happening is probably one of the highest load dirt corners on the track, and it will be that last corner. It looked a lot easier for these guys to make it through there in the earlier heats and practice, qualifying, what have you. But I've seen a lot of cars really struggling to get through that final corner since we've gotten later into the show here. We've seen a lot of little near spins and self spins in there, and I'm wondering, once we get some laps in on it here to finish things out, how treacherous that's going to be for these guys.
So I'm going to put each of you on the spot. I'll start with Jacob, and we'll come back to Sheldon. Do you think at some point in this feature, keep in mind the feature races all to the left here, it is going to be 16 laps, 1 Joker lap required. Do we see contact, or do we see a battle up the hill, do you want to think? Jacob, do you think it's possible we see some contact?
Oh, I mean, there's just so much risk involved with that, right? Because your wheel has to be straight when you're going up, and it has to be straight as soon as you hit the ground. Whenever you start messing with somebody's rhythm going up that hill, that is a dangerous move, and you're asking for a lot of trouble, right? So it's definitely something that is possible, but I don't see anyone in the pack being brave enough to make it happen. We saw it in that last heat race earlier where somebody's wheel was cut as they hit the ground, and they nearly flipped. So, it's tough to say, but it would definitely be a risky move.
Sheldon, what do you think? Can we see a battle up that hill at some point?
I think that we definitely see a mistake made up the hill, but
fair enough.
I'm going to go with it. I think we could definitely see a battle up the hill, because I'm thinking back on the last few races, and we've had a couple close moments. We just we haven't gotten quite there yet.
All right, well, of course, the hills, interesting to see if somebody can go running up that hill. And of course, a good reference after Stranger Things finale aired just about a week ago at this point here. But let's do this. If you're having fun tonight on Green Flag TV, don't go anywhere. Make sure you press subscribe, because look at that schedule on the right side of the screen, guys. Friday night, the Zero Torque Racing League heads over to Iowa Speedway. The beginning of their playoff system happens. On Saturday, the big one, the VSCA kicks off their second race of their season with a 24 hours of Daytona. We will be live for 24 hours straight from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. And there'll be a set of commentators and producers. We'll be happy to bring all that action with the IMSA class cars, the LMP, or the GTPs, the LMP2s, and the GT3s live on Green Flag TV. As soon as that broadcast is over, Nolan Rimple and Howie Burrows will be out there at Watkins Glen with the GR86s for the Pace League. Monday night, the High Tide Racing League goes up to Pennsylvania in the mountains for the Pocono Raceway. Next Tuesday, the debut of OMSRL on the channel. They're coming back for their next season, and they'll be there at Daytona. And then next week, the Beer League returns for their mystery race. They'll have a mystery car, mystery track combo. And then we'll have some more broadcasts coming all week long on Green Flag TV. So, all right, here we go, guys. The grid is ready. We're going to 3-man booth this. Myself, Sheldon, and Jacob. We're going to try to keep it somewhat organized. But it's Bradley Holly up in first with Elliott White back in P2. Then it's Reese Bogue and Richard Regan Jr., team owners, third and fourth. Robert Barney's fifth. Thomas Sick is P6. P7's Nicholas Godina with Matt Gagnon back in P8. P9, Ted Lomadick and Sheldon. P10 goes to Mark Kalin.
And run off the grid here. P11 is going to be Jeff Evans with Steve Loving to the outside in the 27 machine. 13th on the grid is going to be Nick Hunter with James Morgan in 14th. 15th place going to be Zachary Burnt with Brandon Walter in 16th. And that is the field for the feature.
All right, guys, I hope you're ready. I hope the drivers are ready. I hope the fans at home are ready. 16 cars on this very short rallycross course. The standing start. Hopefully no jump starts here. We'll wait for the green lights any moment now. It'll be time to go. All right, boys, let's go. Green flag racing at Phoenix. Oh my gosh. Jacob, there was a car that didn't start.
Yeah, it looks like it looked like one of the ones towards the back. You got it going again. Sometimes, those lights just fool you. And look at this, just side by side. We got some 3 wide back there as they cut through the first corner. You got to be careful not to get too wide when you're going through there, Sheldon.
The question is, are we going to survive through the ramp? We got a couple cars diving off here to make the Joker lap, here to start this thing out.
Ooh.
And everybody making the jump all right so far, knock on wood.
That black and yellow car really made the jump. He was really pointed out there, guys.
Yeah, that one was definitely interesting. Elliott White, your current leader. Bradley Holly close behind. Elliott White, he's been dominant all night long. Look at the gap that he has on the rest of the pack. My goodness. That is what that Joker lap can do. And they're going to cut back through this first corner.
Elliott White also had a really good, clean launch there on that lap, too.
Sheldon, I was thinking earlier, we were talking about how we're going to do the 24-hour Daytona broadcast this weekend, how oftentimes pit strategy is based upon getting out of traffic, right? Just kind of being by yourself and not being clogged up in traffic. Maybe in this race you take the Joker lap sort of at an optimistic time to where you can kind of get away from people and not, have all that dirt kicked up in your face at all times.
No, it's definitely a great call, especially because you don't want to get balled up here. You're going to lose so much time here on the dirt, just being stuck behind all the cars. We've got one car around, Mark Kalin.
Oof. He was having such a good night, too. That is so unfortunate. They're going to head through the S's one more time. Elliott White still the leader by a 1.4 second margin. And we got another one going wide back there, but it is going to be absolute pandemonium as we continue through this race. Here's the replay. And it looks like, he just goes really wide.
Yeah, a little bit of help there.
Contact. A little bit of hockey body check there, guys, from Jeff Evans. That's like Nick Hunter's around. There's another. Is that James Morgan possibly in the white and red? Morgan just kind of did a 360, kind of grabbed a gear and kept going. Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see exactly what happened, but yeah, it's just tough, especially whenever someone does that in front of you, and it's like like Derrick Waltrip said, God help him, because there's no place to go. He hits the ground lopsided. It's like I said, that wheel's got to be straight when you hit the ground, or your car is going to be out of control.
And there's Nick Hunter. Watch him. He actually was pretty straight. He just hit the wall, and I think James Morgan's going to come flying in a second here. If this is the wreck, I think it is. Maybe I have my there he is.
Yep.
Oh. Did he kind of get lucked out there, Sheldon, and kind of clip through the wall?
He definitely had luck on his side there, because that car should have probably found its way upside down from that impact.
Yeah.
Right now up at the front of the field, Elliott White walking off to a 1 second advantage over Bradley Holly. Holly trying to close the gap in here, doing pretty well as he gets ready to load up here onto the ramp.
By the way,
Holly says it wide, almost loses it.
Have taken their Joker lap. Look at your leaderboard in the top left of your side, guys. All those ones indicate the Joker lap has been taken. I think everyone minus James Morgan and Zachary Burnt are done with that. But Matt Gagnon now, our newest car to spin out and have some problems. But Elliott White has pulled away here. That was your pick, Sheldon, of a name to look at. Jacob, look at that. Oh, my gosh. You talked about,
it's a horrible crash coming over the ramp. Man, that is going to require some serious work to get that fixed. Matt Gagnon rapidly dropping down the field, and for good reason. Oh, we've got more going wide over the ramp. You predicted it perfectly earlier. This is...
Bradley Holly's around.
Holly is around as well, and God, what an impact. That is...
not
that's
VR for that.
Rough. Yeah. That'll make a man sick if he watches it too many times. Here's Brandon
Holly.
Oh, he just caught the right rear tire and it hooked right in. Just a little off balance coming over the jump.
More calamity. And this is a lot going on. I think what's happening here, guys, is look at that piece of dirt. The rally crosser. See how it's alternating light brown? That means that the dirt's wearing off. And that texture, not just the texture, sorry, but the grip is changing. There's a word I want there I can't find, but the grip is changing as this race goes on, as this night goes on. So we're now on lap 7 to 16, and I bet that area right there is getting harder to drive on as the night goes on.
And the whole track, too, is starting to fall prey to that, too.
Yeah,
it
makes you wonder.
Absolutely wheeling it around here to try and finish a lap without any mistakes.
We're going to see them come
Jake,
through
it makes you wonder.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder, like, are we going to see people start drifting higher and higher? Typically, you see that a lot on dirt ovals, but, dirt road courses do tend to be a little bit different. But with how sharp this final corner is, you do start to wonder, like, man, are we going to see some battles on the high side there? We'll just have to see.
All right, well, here we go. Now working halfway point of this race. Up front is Elliott White. This is a great side-by-side battle. This is Thomas Sink right now, and he's under attack by the car behind him. That was Nicholas Gadina. This is now different battle on your screen. This is Barney and Ted Lowendick. This is for P2, guys. Ted Lowendick's had a pretty solid run so far across both his heat and this race.
It's been a pretty quiet night for Ted Lowendick, but sitting there in P3, and just been a clean night. We haven't really talked about him a whole lot because he hasn't really, I'm not trying to say done a lot, but he hasn't put himself into really many dicey situations. A lot of the guys we talked about tonight, it's not been for the right reasons.
Yeah, and Jacob, Ted Lowendick's up up 6 spots, in P3.
Yep, he absolutely is. And we talked about him earlier in his heat race because he was on the verge of having to go to the LCQ, but then some chaos things start happening, and it's like, all of these guys that drive around in the middle of the pack, that we like to call them journeymen where I'm from, they just wait to capitalize on those mistakes, and that's what Lowendick's been doing all night.
Sheldon, up front, we've not talked about Elliott White because really it's just he's in a whole different universe. He's 3 seconds ahead of the field. It's just, apparently he's the ringer of the field in these cross cars.
Yeah, the thing for Elliott White, though, being that far ahead is sometimes a double-edged blade, especially here on a track such as this, where you got a lot of opportunities for guys to make mistakes. He could start working himself up into some lap traffic and into some dicey situations here before this thing's over.
Well, now you see Lowendick having a pretty good job here. And, Lowendick, of course, we talk all the time in the broadcast, he came into iRacing as a road course driver. He got into ovals because of this league and a league prior to this. But Ted has a road course background, and I wonder, compared to some of these drivers who are primary oval drivers, Jacob, I wonder if some of those road course skills are coming into play to keep him up towards the front of the field.
Absolutely. You can see the way that he's hugging the inside of all of the corners, right? That's just testament of how road course drivers are taught to race, especially just coming up through the ranks. Oh, wow. That was almost very dangerous. But yeah, it's like I was saying, Ted.
Hunter's around.
Hard into the wall. That's Hunter. Oh,
and I think Lowendick got a piece of that, guys. That may cause damage to that car. I thought Lowendick got a piece of Nick Hunter. I'm not sure if that's what happened, or just the bad camera angle.
Nicholas Hunter's been struggling with the right front tire being gone on that thing for at least 5 laps. The fact that he's just now had issue with it is actually a testament to his driving capabilities. Because
watch, I thought maybe Lowendick and Hunter made a little bit of side-by-side contact, but Lowendick is still moving along, so maybe not the case here. Of course, this Phoenix Rallycross course is based upon the old legacy Phoenix Scan and iRacing. Sheldon, you and I have probably both called some road course races at the old Phoenix road course. Not a commonly used track, but it does come up every now and then.
Definitely not commonly.
Have you called a race at the Phoenix road course?
I do not think I've called races at some crazy places. Never once has a Phoenix road course come up.
Yeah, it's hard as a commentator. There's not that many marks. You kind of go through this little parking lot in the middle of the infield, and it's kind of a weird place. That's what this track is modeled on. Of course, they've added in the rallycross features with the dirt and the jump. But Robert Barney doesn't think it's a bad place. He's having a blast right now back in P3. That's Ted Lowendick up ahead, by the way. So apparently Lowendick did not get any damage from that car that he made contact with, Jacob.
Yeah, it looked like the contact was light, if it even happened at all. I think the primary reason for that accident was just that right front suspension just absolutely quitting as he hit the ground right there. But it seems like you said, Ted Lowendick's car has been fast all day, and it will continue to be fast as long as things work out for him.
Sheldon, one thing we don't have, I believe, in this race, we don't have a visor cam per se, but one of the essentials for this style of racing, as Robert Barney's attacking the curbs, is to make sure you have a tear-off button programmed for your visors and iRacing, because you will collect some dirt in your vision, and it will be hard to see around. Let's see if this shows any dirt collecting here in the next couple of laps.
A little bit. There's a little bit down there, but not as pronounced as what the drivers are actually seeing. And yeah, you can pretty much go blind at these dirt tracks if you don't have a tear-off option on anything that doesn't have a windshield. I made a mistake of
the good news, Jacob, by the way,
without it once, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, the good news, Jacob, tear-offs are bound by default by iRacing. The bad news, if you don't change it, it's a keyboard binding.
Ooh, yeah, I've definitely learned that the hard way with a few other games as well. Yeah, you gotta remember what your binds are, and you gotta remember to bind them, especially if you're going from setup to setup. So just something these guys need to be conscious and aware of, because that dirt does collect, and it collects very quickly.
Well, Sheldon, here we are, lap and a half to go. We're on lap 15 of 16. It's Elliott White in his own little world, 5 seconds ahead. The battle really is for P2. That's Lowendick, and that is Robert Barney. That's going to be the battle we're going to watch here as Barney the flagman has put the white flag out.
Right now, Robert Barney leading through the S's here for the next to last time for these two.
This is Ted Lowendick right here in the front of your screen. There's someone turned around. Who was that? That was Robert Barney. He's now out of the top 3. So Lowendick needs to get through the lap clean. He's got P2. And now it will be, I think, Bradley Holly coming up for P3, guys.
Oh, we just...
Oh.
We got another one.
I think he
Here's your
hit
winner, by the
a
way.
cactus.
Elliott White is your winner. He went flag to flag, banner to banner, wire to wire, whatever you want to call it. There's what happened to Bradley Holly. I think he just got a little nervous about the lap traffic up ahead. Maybe got into the brakes too hard. Oh, and there's a car up there. Who is that?
Somebody just flipped. I don't know who that was. Looked like Thomas. Oh, it is. It looks like it was just after the finish. These guys are just here to have a good time. I mean, that is the primary reason that we're all here, right? It's just to have a good time. Looks like
the Winter Series. Yep. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying it looks like everything, barring anything crazy happening, looks like that's pretty much our results. We have 4 DNFs, Zachary Burnt, James Morgan, and then Matt Gagnon and Steve Loving all out. What a vicious impact. My goodness.
Oh, buddy. All right. Well, let's take a look at your overall results, and we'll see where we're lined up. We'll do some interviews, and we'll call it a night. P1, Elliott White, your winner by over... And that says 14 seconds. That's more than what we had before. I think there was some shenanigans. But wait a minute. Lowendick finished 3rd. Bradley Holly is P2. Lowendick is P3. Regan's P4. Reese Bogue is P5. Then it's Kalen, Barney, Walter, Sink, and Nicholas Gadina in your top 10, Sheldon.
And what a crazy one that was, as I get everything queued up here. And finishing 11th is going to be the 51 machine of Jeff Evans, followed by Nick Hunter in 12th. 13th, Zachary Burnt with Matt Gagnon in 14th. And running out the 16-car field here tonight is going to be James Morgan and Steve Loving.
I'm curious what happened to Ted Lowendick, because he was running solidly P2 about 5 seconds back, and the results show him back in P3, like 15 seconds back. I'm not sure if our producer can find what happened or if it's just a scoring error, but kind of a weird thing as we're watching some slow-mos of the cars that went up and down the hill and had a moment. Well, tell you what, guys, while we find out maybe what happened to Ted Lowendick, I want to take a second and welcome into the Green Flag TV broadcast with the driver who went wire to wire, flag to flag, whatever you want to call it, Elliott White. Do you live in these race cars? How are you a ringer? What happened?
No, not really. I mean, I just drove the car today.
I feel like you're like the 1990s, 2000s, like Boris said in NASCAR road courses. How did you do that?
I mean, I have, I guess, sim racing, road racing background, so I guess there's that. But I don't really do dirt. I'm only a D license. I don't really do it that much. But I don't know. I think I just picked it up relatively quickly, I guess.
So was it, all kidding aside, was this your first time in the cross car since the content came out?
It was, yes.
So what surprised you? What stood out to you about the car? What was the most fun?
I guess it had a lot of grip. I would say that. I think, especially on the asphalt, it almost had too much grip. If you brake too hard, it would just start to spin really fast. But beyond that, I think it's fun to kind of judge the momentum on the dirt side. I mean, I don't really do it that much, but it's fun to do.
I mean, yeah, that's the primary reason that these cars exist, after all, is just to have a real good time. But my question for you is specifically talking about that final corner, right? We were seeing from our perspective, the dirt was really degrading as the race went on. Did you feel that? How did you adjust to that in the moment?
I think I kind of backed up my entry a little bit, and then kept just a tighter line. I kind of realized that the less wheel movement I did in that corner, just kind of let the wheel hang at a certain degree angle the whole entire way around, was kind of the best way to do it. And then as the groove kept kind of narrowing out, just going I guess, closer and closer to the inside wall. I was a little worried at one point I was going to hit it, but it worked out.
All right, well, congrats on the solid run here, Elliot. Anyone you want to say hello to or give a shout out to?
Oh man, I guess all the guys at Soulpack for what they do, and then there's a lot of people in this league that have graciously kind of invited me back in after I've taken a hiatus away from driving. So I appreciate Jeff Evans, obviously Bradley Hawley, all the people involved with this, Richard Regan. Appreciate them for just kind of letting me come back in.
All right, are we going to see Elliot White in the next season of Premier Sim Racing?
I plan on it, yeah, I think so. I mean, assuming schedule works out, I'd like to do oval racing again for sure in the league.
Fair enough. Well, listen, Elliot, congrats on the win. We'll let you go celebrate and have yourself a good evening, and thank you for your time.
All right, thank you for the broadcast, guys.
All right, you're very welcome. Thank you. That's Elliot White. And guys, before we get into our next interview with Ted Lowendick, I think we have the replay of what happened to Ted Lowendick. We're going to watch, and I believe what's going to happen is he hit a spun car at the end of this lap here. Watch the replay. There's a car parked right there. Ooh. And now we'll talk to Ted Lowendick himself. Ted, was that car parked there? Was that a surprise when you came around that corner?
Yeah, I couldn't see him. It was kind of, was like up, final lap, got a corner left, and then,
So, Ted, you came in officially P3. You're going to finish, I think, a second or two behind Bradley Hawley when all is said and done. That looked fun.
It was interesting. The Joker lap, I took it on the first lap, I think, in the feature, primarily because there was a lot of chaos going around. I just wanted to be alone, like the introverted self that I am. Yeah, it was fun. These weeks are interesting how they set up different things. I mean, I would never do this outside of this stuff because I'm just not, I don't think I'm good at it. And it's, yeah, so.
Well, I think there's probably about like 12 other guys behind you in the field who think you did okay at it. So
they're just worse than I am.
Listen, these things in official races are only 6-lap races. You could go out and do these in like 10 minutes and be done.
Oh my goodness, that's like that's a dream. But then you probably have to wait like an hour until the next one.
I don't know. I'm not sure. All right. Well, I want to ask the two real quick, and we'll let you out of here to go have some fun tonight. We were talking to broadcast about, obviously you come from the road racing background. Does any of that translate in driving this car, do you think?
I don't think so. Maybe on the pavement parts, but the suspension's so soft, like you barely, like you let off the gas and the whole thing moves forward. So that little hairpin on the asphalt was interesting because depending on how you took it, you could really send it in there, but then the rear of the car came up so high, it would just like pivot on the nose. If you took it a little easier and you could kind of keep the weight kind of balanced, I don't know if it was quicker or not, but I mean, there's aspects obviously where you're trying to hit apexes and stuff like that, but I don't know if you can really compare it or not, but it was fun. I will say that.
All right. Well, you're currently scheduled for the midnight to 2 a.m. slot of commentary for the 24 Hours of Daytona this weekend. Do you have anything like Red Bulls, Monsters? Do I need to send a Celsius to your house? Are you ready?
Rip it.
Got a case of Celsius in the fridge. Probably going to get some form of coffee at like 10 before the place is closed. Got some Nerds Gummy Clusters. Got plenty of those. Yeah, I'll be interested. I've never done a broadcast that late. So yeah, it'll be cool. I think that's going to be the most interesting time, because it's going to be about the time where everybody's like, man, we've been doing this for 18 hours. How much longer we got to do this?
Sun should be coming back up, so it might be a good time.
Yeah, it's usually about when the craziness comes for you because people tend to put their not as experienced driver in late. So yeah, we'll see. I need to look into it, but is it like a multi-class?
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be great. So
all right. Well, we're gonna let you go off and celebrate. Anyone you want to say hello to or give a shout out to?
My parents, if they're still watching. My dad's birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday to him. And you guys for putting on these broadcasts. It's always a good time. And the league for putting a winter series together. It's a good little bridger between the full season and the new season. So yeah, can't wait for the next season to start. And yeah.
All right, we'll tell you, we're gonna let you go off and celebrate. Thank you for your time. If not before then, I will see you Saturday for the 24 Hours of Daytona.
Thanks, guys.
right, that is Ted Lundo, Key came home P3, P2 Bradley Holly not available. So Jacob, your first time on the channel, your first time seeing these cars, I assume, in iRacing at least. What's your takeaway from tonight's activities?
FUN. Fun. These cars are always so much fun to drive. They're so much fun to watch. I mean, the whole thing was pandemonium from start to finish, and that just, for some, that just appeals to me, So I really don't have anything else to say. It was just a lot of fun hanging out with you guys and being able to be on the mic for tonight. So again, thank you to Green Flag TV for allowing me this opportunity, and thank you again to the drivers and to Premier Sim Racing for putting this whole thing together and just being awesome people.
Sheldon, your thoughts?
About to go and cut a couple laps in one of these myself. That looked like an absolute blast from up here in the booth. And man, what a crazy 16-lap dash to the finish these guys put together. I mean, we saw just a little bit of everything in this one. And first time watching cross cars, man, this was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Well, 2 weeks from tonight, the last of the Winter Series, January 21st at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The track will be announced at that time, as will the car. And I want to hope you'll join us for that race. For everyone at Green Flag TV, for my producer, Dustin Ollis, for Sheldon Atkins and Jacob Kohler, I am Derrick Watson, saying so long and good night from Phoenix, and congratulations to Elliott White.